I have a question for you, but I need you to be totally honest.
Mm.
Don't give me the polite dinner party answer. I want the real, actual answer.
You have my attention. No polite answers. Go for it.
When was the last time you walked through your front door and felt lighter?
Lighter.
I don't just mean glad to be off work or, happy to be out of traffic. I mean, did the physical space itself actually feel like it was exhaling?
Wow. That is a very specific, visceral description, honestly.
Yeah.
It's rare. I mean, usually I walk in and my eyes just immediately dart to the mail on the table or the dog toy in the hallway. My brain just starts adding things to a mental to-do list.
That's it. That is exactly the feeling we are digging into today. We're looking
Yeah.
at this fascinating document called The Harmony Narrative.
Right.
It's a philosophy and a very, very rigorous service protocol curated by two specialists, April and Kelly. And their whole thesis is that most of us are living in homes that are, well, functionally shouting at us.
Yeah, we don't even realize it.
We don't.
It's an incredible read because on the surface, if you just glance at the headers, it looks like a high-end cleaning checklist.
Sure.
But once you actually get into the source material, the commentary, the specific directives, you realize it's actually a manifesto on environmental psychology. They aren't talking about hygiene.
No.
They're talking about deep restoration.
Restoration is such a heavy word, right? I mean, usually we talk about restoring a painting or a vintage car. Why apply that to a living room?
I think it comes down to the concept of entropy. Life is messy. And over time, a home just kind of drifts away from its original intent. It accumulates what April and Kelly call layers.
And not just dirt.
Not just dirt, visual weight, clutter, shadows, wear. So their goal isn't just to clean, which implies just wiping away the current mess. It's to return the home to its most intentional state.
I love that phrase, intentional state. It implies the house has this personality or a purpose that we've accidentally buried.
Exactly. Buried under a pile of Amazon boxes and dust bunnies.
Yeah.
They argue that by tending to the quiet layers, the parts of the home you stop noticing.
The parts you see every day.
Right. By tending to those, you can transform the space into something that feels lighter and truer.
It sounds almost spiritual, doesn't it? But as we went through this, I was so struck by how incredibly technical it gets.
Oh, completely.
It's poetry, sure, but it's poetry backed up by, a toothbrush and a HEPA filter vacuum.
It's a mix of the esoteric and the hyper-practical.
Mm.
And that's what makes it perfect for a deep dive. We aren't just talking about wiping counters.
No.
We are talking about the harmony narrative approach to removing the visual noise that stresses us out.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Philosophy is great, but I want to know how this actually works. They break the home down into zones, and they start in the kitchen.
Which they call the heart of the home.
Right. And the objective here, the sort of mission statement, is culinary clarity.
Something I desperately need. My kitchen is usually culinary chaos.
Most are. But look at how they tackle it. A standard cleaning service, they do the countertops, maybe the front of the fridge, the sink.
The basics.
But the Harmony method focuses on what they call the shadows of use.
That phrase is a little creepy, shadows of use, but it makes so much sense.
It sounds like the ghosts of dinners past.
It kind of does. It refers to the grime that accumulates where you don't look. Specifically, they highlight the tops of the cabinetry.
Okay, I have to stop you there. Who looks at the top of a cabinet?
I know.
Unless you're 7 feet tall or you're changing a light bulb, it's invisible. Why does that matter for clarity?
Okay, so this is the cool part. You might not see the dust directly, but dust on high surfaces affects the air quality and, crucially, how light reflects in the room.
Oh.
A layer of greasy dust, which is what you get in a kitchen on top of a cabinet, actually absorbs light. It makes the room feel subconsciously heavier.
So by cleaning it,
You're actually changing the ambient lighting.
so you're scrubbing the ceiling to brighten the floor.
In a way, yes. It returns the wood or laminate to its natural luster. And they apply that same logic to the appliances. It's not just the front of the fridge.
It's the sides.
It's the sides.
that gap between the stove and the counter.
The gap of doom, if you will.
Ha! I know it well. I dropped a piece of pasta down there in 2019. I think it's still there.
Well, in the Harmony narrative, that pasta is history. They call it ensuring every edge feels light.
Feels light.
Think about it. When you have that fuzzy gray line of dust bridging the gap, your eye catches it.
Yep.
You might not consciously register it, but your brain processes it as disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning that edge creates a sharp visual line. It quiets the noise.
That is a massive takeaway right there. Sharp lines equal a quiet mind.
Yeah.
But the part that really made me feel guilty, I mean, I actually looked at my own kitchen while reading this and just winced.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
The lift and tend concept.
The small
The
appliances.
toaster, the coffee maker, the stand mixer that weighs 50 pounds and never, ever moves.
We all have that crumb graveyard under the toaster.
We do, and we just ignore it. We wipe around the toaster. But this protocol explicitly demands lifting everything.
No corner unobserved.
Exactly.
And think about the smell, too. Old crumbs and stale coffee grounds under a machine, they eventually start to smell musty.
Right.
You might not smell it directly, but it contributes to the overall scent profile of the room. By lifting and tending, you're removing a source of olfactory noise.
Olfactory noise. I like that. It's like background static for your nose.
It is.
And speaking of smells, let's talk about the sink. They don't just rinse it out.
No, not at all. They do a deep scrub to remove calcium and impurities, basically stripping it back to zero. And they finish by deodorizing the drain.
Which is invisible. You can't see a deodorized drain.
Again, it's about the intentional state. A drain shouldn't smell like yesterday's onions. It should just be neutral. And then they frame the entire kitchen by hand wiping the woodwork, the baseboards, door frames.
It's like putting a mat on a painting. If the frame is dirty, the art looks bad.
That's a perfect analogy. Even if the counters are sparkling, if the baseboards are scuffed and dusty, the room won't feel finished. It won't feel restored.
Okay, so once the active chaos of the kitchen is neutralized, we move to the spaces of recovery. The bathrooms.
Right. The source material calls this section textures of water and stone.
That sounds like a brochure for a very expensive hotel.
That's the goal, right? To transform a utility room into a spa-like retreat. But the methodology is, well, it's brutal. It's not soft.
How?
Well, take the grout. The source describes a rhythmic, detailed scrub. Grout is porous. It holds on to everything.
Oh, yeah.
Moisture, soap, bacteria. And that creates shadows in the grid of your floor.
It turns that nice white grid into a dingy gray one. I feel like my bathroom floor is permanently 5 shades darker than when I moved in.
Right. And that grayness makes the whole room feel smaller and dirtier.
Right.
But the real game changer here is the glass.
My shower glass always looks foggy no matter how much I squeegee it. It drives me crazy.
That's scale buildup. Mineral deposits. So April and Kelly specify a heavy descaling. And I love the phrasing they use here, to invite the light back in.
It's so true, though. Clear glass disappears. Foggy glass is a wall.
Exactly. If the glass is perfectly clear, the room looks twice as big. If it's spotted, your eye just stops at the glass. And then they tackle the things that usually get skipped.
The vanity details.
Yeah, they hand dust the light fixtures, which is obvious for brightness, but they also go for the exhaust fan covers.
The fuzzy vents. I stare at mine when I'm brushing my teeth and I think, I should fix that. And then I walk away and immediately forget about it.
And that dust is blocking airflow.
Yeah.
A bathroom needs to breathe, to get rid of humidity. If the fan is clogged, the moisture just stays.
And the room feels heavy and damp.
Cleaning the fan allows the room to physically exhale.
Okay, but the absolute peak of this deep restoration philosophy, the moment where I realized this is a totally different level, was the concept of the unseen.
This is such a critical insight for the listener. This is the difference between cleaning for guests and cleaning for yourself.
They talk about meticulous care behind the toilet, which is, let's be honest, a nightmare zone.
It's the place everyone ignores until they are absolutely forced to look.
But then they add something that really surprised me. Within empty cabinet interiors.
That one is fascinating, isn't it?
Why? I mean, why wipe the inside of a drawer that has nothing in it? It's empty.
It's psychological. It's about potential.
Yeah.
If you open a drawer to put something away, a new pack of toothpaste or whatever, and the drawer is dusty or has a hair in it, you feel a micro-resistance.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like the space is already ruined or dirty.
It's like putting clean clothes on a dirty chair.
Exactly. But if the interior is pristine, it invites order. It tells your brain, this space is valuable.
Every inch is purified. It's almost like they're exercising the neglect from the house.
It establishes a baseline of total order. So even if you can't see behind the toilet, you know it's clean. That knowledge lifts a cognitive burden you didn't even know you were carrying.
That's powerful. It's peace of mind. You aren't hiding anything from yourself. Okay, let's move out of the tiled rooms. We're going to the soft rooms. Living rooms, bedrooms.
The theme here is quieting visual noise.
We've used that term a few times. Can we define it? Like, what actually is visual noise?
Well, in design psychology, visual noise is the accumulation of small, disorganized stimuli that your brain has to process.
So clutter.
It's clutter, yes, but it's also high contrast where there shouldn't be, dust on a dark surface, a cobweb in a corner, a smudge on a window. Your brain sees these things and thinks, error, fix this. It creates a low-level background stress.
So when they say they want the air to feel lighter, they're basically trying to lower the volume of the room.
Precisely. They're removing the data points that your brain has to obsess over. And they start at the threshold of the outdoors, the windows,
Not just the glass, the sills and the tracks.
which is usually a graveyard for flies and dirt.
Ugh, it's gross. But why is it so important to the harmony narrative?
Because the window is your connection to the outside world. If the track is filthy, that connection is marred. It frames your view of the world with dirt.
Then we have light and air, and this is where the detail work gets obsessive. They mention individual hand dusting of blind slats.
Have you ever tried to do that?
I tried once. I did 3 slats, got bored, bought curtains, and pretended the blinds didn't exist.
It takes forever.
It does.
Think about the physics. Blinds are horizontal. They catch everything. And because of static, that dust sticks. When the sun comes through dusty blinds, the light is diffused through that layer of grime.
It literally changes the color temperature of the room.
Makes it yellower, duller. So cleaning the blinds is basically upgrading your light bulbs.
In a natural way.
Yes, you're getting pure light instead of filtered light. Same thing with ceiling fan blades and the glass globes on fixtures.
And then the furniture, they mention nourishing wood polish, and this one hit home for me. Deep vacuuming of upholstered crevices.
Ah, the crumb cracks.
If you know your couch cushions are harboring a colony of popcorn kernels, you can't fully relax.
That's the inviting true relaxation part. It's tactile. If you sit down and feel grit, or your hand slips between the cushions and touches something mysterious,
The sanctuary is broken.
you snap right out of relaxation mode and back into maintenance mode.
And they finish the perimeter by spot cleaning walls and removing cobwebs from high moldings and HVAC vents.
Again, looking up. Removing the things that catch your peripheral vision.
Okay, so we've done the high dusting, the scrubbing, the lifting. Now we look down. Segment 5, the foundation and the finish.
The floors, tending to the ground you walk upon.
I love the focus on edging here. They vacuum deep where the floor meets the baseboard to remove the clutter of the edges.
There's actually a technical term for those dark lines you get there. It's called filtration soiling.
Filtration soiling. That sounds serious.
It happens in almost every home. Air circulates and flows through the gaps under baseboards or through the carpet fibers at the edge. The floor acts like a filter.
Catching all the dust.
And soot in the air. Over time, you get that dark, ugly border.
It looks like someone drew an outline of the room with a charcoal pencil.
Exactly. And most vacuums miss that little half-inch because the vacuum head hits the wall before the suction can get there.
So they target it with a crevice tool.
Right. And by removing that dark outline, it visually expands the floor space. It makes the room look bigger.
And for the main floor areas, a double mop or a hand scrub on high traffic paths.
To restore original resonance. That suggests getting down to the original finish, stripping away layers of old cleaning product or grime.
And they don't just go around the furniture. They mention the gentle movement of light furniture to tend to the floorboards underneath.
Hidden spaces again. No shadows allowed. If you only clean where you walk, you're just creating a pathway of cleanliness through a field of dust.
They want the whole field to be clean.
The whole field.
So the house is clean, like surgically clean.
Yeah.
But the service is called the harmony narrative. It has to end with a feeling.
That's the harmony touch.
Scent. They use lavender or eucalyptus.
To anchor the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Scent is the strongest trigger for memory and emotion. By leaving a specific calming scent, they are stamping the space with that feeling of sanctuary. The next time you smell lavender, your body will actually recall this feeling.
It's Pavlovian.
It is. It's conditioning your brain to relax.
And the artistry. Towels and linens arranged in spa-style folds.
It's a visual signal. It tells you someone cared for this space. It breaks the cycle of utility and introduces luxury.
It says you are a guest in your own home.
Right. And the final step, which I think is just so cool, is the touch point, a final walkthrough.
To ensure every surface is as smooth as a quiet breath.
There it is again, the breath.
Yeah.
It comes full circle. They started with the idea of a home breathing, and they end by ensuring the surfaces reflect that.
So what does this all mean for us? I mean, April and Kelly sound amazing, but most of us can't hire them for a deep restoration this weekend.
No, but the takeaway isn't just about hiring a service. It's about the relationship between your environment and your mental state.
We went from the heart of the home, in the kitchen, dealing with the mess of daily life,
Right.
all the way to the quiet layers of the bedroom.
And every step was about honoring the sanctity of your environment. That's a powerful phrase from the source. Your home isn't just a container, it's a machine for living.
And if the machine is clogged, your life feels clogged.
Totally.
I want to ask the listener right now, look around where you are, and don't just look for the obvious dirt. Look for the visual noise. Look at the edges.
Look at the tops of your cabinets. Look at the space behind the toilet.
Are those spaces holding on to the shadows of use?
And that's the provocative thought I want to leave people with. If you want your home to be a sanctuary, you have to ask yourself, does the current state of your hidden layers, those places you never look, does it reflect the peace you want to feel?
Or is it all secretly weighing you down?
Precisely. It's not about being perfect. It's about knowing that even the dark corners are intentional. A home that is lighter and truer requires you to shine a light where you usually don't.
Deep stuff for a conversation about cleaning. But I guess that's why we do this.
Absolutely. It's never just about the dust.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the harmony narrative. Go check your exhaust fans, people. We'll see you next time.